is Jenna and welcome back to another top 5 OMG moments for the 100 season 4. Today I am talking about episode 3 titled The Four Horsemen. As always, this video is going to contain massive spoilers for the last episode of the 100 and also sort of everything that has happened on the 100 up until now. So if you aren't yet caught up, I recommend going and watching the episode first, then coming back, watching this video and discussing the episode with us. Since this video is going up a day late, I do apologise for that, but if you knew about what my weekend was, you would totally understand. So I'm just going to jump straight into the top 5 OMG moments. So top 5 OMG moment number 1, the bunker. So this bunker that I'm talking about is of course the one that Jaha takes Clark and Bellamy out to because he says that this guy back way before the first bomb sort of hit, he knew that there was an apocalypse coming and he was sort of getting people together, calling them the Four Horsemen or whatever, because obviously the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I'm assuming, is sort of where that's coming from. And he got them all together in this massive bunker and they were going to ride out the radiation in there. So at this point, I don't know if Jaha is really trying to help or if he's just trying to waste time. I feel like he's actually really trying to help, which is so different from the character that we're used to seeing in the past couple of seasons. But anyway, they go out to this bunker and of course it would have been too easy if the bunker was there and ready for them. So they managed to open the door and it turns out that everyone inside had died from the radiation because the bunker wasn't sealed properly. I was not expecting that. I knew it wasn't going to be easy enough that they would just open this bunker and there we go, but part of me thought maybe those people would be alive and then it would be sort of like a Mount Weather situation, like they'd open the door and then they killed everyone basically, but it wasn't. The people were already dead, so when you sort of come in and you see this entire cavern full of skeletons, that was pretty weird, and that was definitely one of the more shocking moments of the episode. Top 5 OMG moment number 2, the list. So it's pretty obvious that this list is going to be a massive source of conflict in the next couple of episodes. I mean, Clark literally just wrote a list of the 100 people that are going to live, and she put her own, well, she didn't put her own name on it, Bellamy did, which I have to say was like the cutest little Bellark moment I have ever seen on this show. I think that the showrunners are sort of working towards that being a ship that they want to explore, but I think they're doing it in a really nice sort of respectful way to Lexa, because obviously Clark is still definitely grieving from Lexa's death and I don't think they sort of want to jump into it anytime soon. Pretty sure I've read somewhere that the showrunners have said that if they do make Bellark a thing, it's not going to be this season because they don't want to destroy the memory of Lexa or something. I don't know. All I know is that moment was adorable. But getting back to the list, this list of course is going to be a massive source of conflict because if someone finds the list and they're not on it, then that's going to be, you know, like, what is this for? Although I have to say, it's not like Clark's going to go around writing on top of the list of 100 people who will survive. That's pretty stupid. But speaking of Clark, who decided it was up to her to write this list? Like, this is a massive thing for, I'm assuming she's 18 now. Like, I don't know how long they've been on the ground for. She must be 18 or 19 by now. And that is a massive responsibility for someone that age to have to literally decide who lives and who else is going to die. And of course it's even worse because she's promised Rowan that, you know, he's going to survive, and so it's sort of, it's this whole thing. Does she just pick 100 of her own people? Does she pick people from sort of everywhere? But I think this list is going to cause more problems than it helps anything. Top 5 OMG moment number 3, Indra's daughter. I did not see this one coming. I don't know, like now I'm trying to rack my brain. Did Indra ever mention at some point that she had a daughter? No idea, but she has one and she just happens to be the new Flamekeeper who stole the flame from Roman's chambers, and Octavia was sort of, you know, sent to kill her. And I think that having her daughter and showing her daughter is definitely, it's opening a can of worms when it comes to Indra. I think that I understand her character so much more now, especially when it comes to Octavia. Obviously Indra has always been very proud of Octavia, you know, making her second and really working to train with her and make her better and better. And now to see what her own daughter is, it's sort of like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense now when it comes to Octavia, because Indra is so grounder violence sort of person, so to have her daughter sort of go off and join the Flamekeeper people, that would sting. This little conflict obviously led to the actual flame being taken away by Indra's daughter and Rowan getting back a crushed little chip thingamabob that Indra's daughter had around her neck. So Rowan now thinks that the flame is gone, and so do the people, the ones that Ilian was sort of running around with. Those ones were the ones who think they destroyed it. And personally I think that it's probably a good thing that everybody thinks that they've destroyed the flame, but also it is going to be a lot harder for them to keep Rowan on the throne, and that's going to be an issue because they really need Rowan on the throne right now. Top 5 OMG moment number 4, Murphy. I love Murphy. I've loved him since probably season 2. He's one of my all-time favorite characters, and I loved in this episode seeing him be the person that I know that he can be. So in this episode, obviously we see him, he is going to Arcadia to steal food for himself and Amori, because in the place where they are, they're trying to hunt the animals, but obviously the animals are dying because of the radiation. So when he goes to get this food, he overhears Abby and Raven talking about the radiation, talking about the sick people, and he decides to steal the medicine that Raven won't let Abby take. And I think that's just it's a really nice sort of full circle thing, because obviously his father was floated for stealing medicine in order to save himself, and now he's stealing medicine to save this little girl that may or may not work. And I think that was a really like nice moment, especially when Abby sort of goes, I knew he had it in him. And I think that's just like a really nice sort of moment to sort of see in this, especially coming from Murphy. And top 5 OMG moment number 5, Lena. In hindsight, I probably should have guessed that Luna coming back this season meant she was going to have a huge role, since, you know, she was only really in 1 or 2 episodes last season and everyone seemed to love her. I never really got it, to be perfectly honest, when it came to Luna, but apparently she was a really like fan favorite, so they've brought her back. And again, I probably should have picked that it was going to be for some big reason, but I didn't. So basically, as soon as all of her people died and Luna was still alive, I went straight away, her nightblood is what is keeping her alive. And it took them so long to figure that out. Like, oh my goodness, how long does it take for a doctor's daughter, another doctor, and like just Bellamy to figure out that of course it's her nightblood that is keeping her alive? I mean, seriously, like, it's not that difficult. There's literally the only thing about her that's different. So basically, we found out in this episode that Luna's nightblood rejects the radiation and she's going to be able to live through it, supposedly, because the radiation that they're currently dealing with is probably not going to be as bad as the radiation cloud that's coming. I mean, we saw in the first episode that radiation cloud just like completely destroyed that person. I don't even think someone with nightblood could survive that. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But also, didn't they make like a huge deal about the fact that Luna was the last nightblood? Does that mean that she's the last nightblood like ever? Like the complete last of her kind? Because if that's the case, what are they going to do? Like drain her blood and give it to a few people? Because that's not helpful at all. So because of that, my guess is this season has gone from being just about stopping, well, finding a way, because you can't stop radiation, finding a way to ride out the radiation, to finding more nightbloods to survive and help them survive. I don't know. I really don't know where they're going with this season, but I'm enjoying it so far. So those are my top 5 OMG moments for this episode, and now, as always, I'm going to leave you with 4 questions that I'm hoping get answered in coming episodes. So question number 1, are there more nightbloods? And if there are, how are they going to find them without causing a massive panic? They literally can't just walk up to people and go, hi, do you have nightblood? Because if you don't, you're going to die. Question number 2, how on earth are they going to be ready for this radiation in only 2 months? Especially if the radiation is anything like that radiation cloud we saw in episode 1. I'm still maintaining that if that radiation cloud shows up, they are all dead, no matter where they are and no matter what blood they've got. Question number 3, how will Murphy and Amori prove themselves to get on the list? Obviously, in this episode, they sort of decided that they want to live, so they go to Arcadia in the hope of proving themselves to get on this list. And question number 4, does anyone else imagine every time they say the word list, that the list has a capital L? Like when I was writing down all of my notes for this episode, I just kept doing like a capital L because it just seemed like that sort of thing. It seemed like the list needed a capital because the list is not good and is such like a big thing. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what your top 5 OMG moments were for this episode, and also what you think the answers to my questions are. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.